So Aaron Rodgers didn't exactly light up the stat sheet, but I thought watching the tape, he played tremendously well. In fact, if you look at his yardage totals, 238 yards is actually the second most yards he's had in a single game in the 2019 season. But bulk stats can often be misleading. I think Aaron Rodgers has been playing very well this season, and I think he really had one of his better games last week against the Dallas Cowboys. Like on this play, for example, the Green Bay Packers are going to be going up against the cover 3 zone, and they have a receiver running an out route right there, which can oftentimes be pretty good against the cover 3 zone, as it essentially just becomes a one-on-one matchup right there. And since an out route is good on a one-on-one matchup, this is a good situation for Green Bay, and it is something they're going to look to throw to. So Rodgers is going to fake the handoff, and then when he looks up, his receiver is almost open. He's definitely getting ready to try to gain some separation, but as of right now, there isn't any. So if Rodgers makes this throw, it's just having faith in your receiver that you can make a play, but also having faith in your own abilities that Rodgers could then just make a good enough throw. He has to trust that he can put it through a tight window in a way where his receiver can make the catch, and he also has to trust that his receiver can make the catch. But that's going to be exactly what happens, and he makes just a perfectly accurate throw, and that's also impressive because he knew exactly where he had to throw it to make sure that his receiver was able to run over and make that grab. That play almost looks easy, but trust me, it isn't. I mean, that takes perfect timing, perfect accuracy, and you just have to know your talent level of your receivers. He knew all those things, he did all those things well, and again, that's why, in my opinion, he's the best in the game right now. This guy can absolutely play, and I'll show you another example of this next play. It's going to be a 3rd down and 7 situation, and he's going up against man coverage. It's going to be a cover 1 linebacker blitz right here. And that's good news for Rodgers, as he's going to have Jimmy Graham running just a quick route right over there, which absolutely could get open against this type of coverage. It's actually a great route against this type of coverage. The one downside is that he will catch it right before the first down marker, probably not after the first down marker, but that's totally okay, because as long as you just fall forward, you'll get the first down. And so Rodgers quickly looks up, reads the coverage, and knows exactly where he has to make this throw. It's just right on the money where Graham can make the catch and then turn his body and run past the first down marker. Because again, Graham caught it before he was actually past the first down marker. So there absolutely was a chance that this throw was complete, this pass was caught, but it still wasn't a first down. However, with that throw being so accurate, there was no chance it was going to be incomplete. I know that seems like an easy play, and it was. It was not a difficult play just in terms of what we've seen Rodgers do before, but the reality is the fact that he can do these small things so well really makes him so great. When I made my top 40 quarterback rankings list and I put Rodgers at number 1, there were some people that disagreed with that pick. I think actually most of you guys were pretty cool, even the ones that disagreed. That's one of the things that I like about you guys, is you tend to, for the most part, even if you disagree, still respect my opinion and just sort of respectfully disagree, which is kind of what I'm trying to do here, create some discussions, not necessarily just say I'm right, you're wrong. But anyways, one of the main things people disagreed on, talking about Rodgers being number 1, is that, sure, Rodgers can make these splash plays, but guys like Breeze and Brady can make the short to medium range throws just a lot more consistently, so while the highlight reel isn't as impressive, the overall value is much higher. And while they are certainly great at those types of plays, so is Rodgers. Rodgers is just as smart as they are, and just as good as those short to medium range throws, plus he's still playing in the prime of his career, whereas Brady and Breeze, they're still playing at a high level, but I think they've passed their prime in my opinion. Again, I won't talk about it too much, I've made a whole video on it, but that's just my opinion, and I do think it's worth mentioning when talking about Aaron Rodgers. I also think what's worth mentioning about Aaron Rodgers is a play like this, where it's going to be a cover 3 zone, but take a look at what happens right when this ball is snapped. There's going to be pressure here, no one gets open right away, so for Rodgers, he's going to have to try to run around the pocket and try to figure something out. He would kind of like to hit that Packer right there, who definitely is going to be open in terms of the Cowboy who's closest to him. However, there's another Dallas player right there who's a lot more in the way. So Rodgers could not make this throw. However, again, Rodgers is running outside the pocket, so this now means that he could potentially run and pick up some yards here. But if that Dallas player runs in to try to make sure that Rodgers can't run, then Rodgers should throw it over him and try to get some yards here by throwing the ball. It's a conundrum if you're a defender, but it's a good situation if you're a quarterback. All you do is react here. Whatever he does, you do the opposite. If he tries to stop the run, then you don't run, you throw. If he tries to stop the pass, then you don't pass, you run. And since he does break in, Rodgers is able to make this throw, and they gain some solid yards on that play. You know, he really is. He's just such an athlete. He's such a good, just athletic human that's how he's able to be so effective. And it really isn't just rolling outside the pocket either. It's working the pocket. Like this one's another example. Again, cover 3 zone. Dallas likes to run cover 3 zone. And what Green Bay is going to do here is actually a pretty simple concept. You run play action, and also that's another thing worth mentioning is that with the running game working, then play action was able to work, which really helps Rodgers. I mean, really, Aaron Rodgers with a consistent running game, that's just unfair. But then what they do is simply to send a receiver out to the middle of the screen. Hopefully the linebackers move in, which will widen up those gaps in coverage. Rodgers can throw it over them and they can gain some yards. However, after the ball is snapped, it's not going to work out too well. First off, pretty simply, a defensive back is just doing a pretty good job of keeping pace and not giving up too much. And also just the linebackers didn't move in as much as Rodgers would have liked, so that Green Bay Packer isn't really open right here. He could also try to take a shot deep to that player right over there. However, the problem is he's going to get ready to cut in, which is actually not really great, because if the defender then tries to undercut the route, he could potentially pick it off, so that's kind of a risky play. However, there is one other player Rodgers could look to throw to, and that's Robert Tonyan. He's running a route through the bottom half of the screen. However, if you're running a route like that, and it gets to a sideline, what you're supposed to do at that point is then just turn upfield. It's just an easy thing to do because you keep moving in any direction, and the quarterback will know which direction you're going to, so there's no confusion there. And this makes what would have already been a scramble drill just a little bit easier. So by the time he gets to that point, potentially he could get open. I mean, he's 6'5", it's a matchup Rodgers kind of likes, but it's definitely not something that's going to be wide open. And there's the other thing of Rodgers would have to wait until he's able to get open. So there's a lot of ifs going on right here. But watch what Rodgers does. He runs up in the pocket, makes an off-balance throw at a weird angle, and it's still able to be complete. I mean, it really is. Watching Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, those are the two guys that when you watch, it's like watching somebody play a video game on the lowest difficulty. You should not be able to make those off-balance type throws. And again, that one's a weirdly off-balance one, because almost running the ones that are more off-balance just feel more natural. Like when you're running to your side, you'd think that would be more difficult, but it's actually sometimes just easier, just simply because it's kind of what you're used to when you are throwing off balance. But running forward and then trying to make that throw, it's just more difficult to actually get the power right, but he got it perfect. It was a perfectly accurate throw, and it resulted in a completion. Really, Rodgers' accuracy is something that I just love about him so much. The way that he is just so accurate. Even on some of the easier throws, he's still perfectly accurate, which does matter. And what I mean by that is a play like this. It's going to be a cover one hole, and he has a receiver running that route right there, which after it gets past sort of the hash marks, it could absolutely get open closer to the top of the screen, and it is something that Rodgers is going to look to throw the ball to. Because after the ball is snapped, as you notice, I mean, he's just wide open right here. This play just worked out too well. So okay, the play already worked, whatever. Why am I showing this? Because watch this throw. This is just an absolute strike. You can't throw it any better than that. So while it might not have had huge implications, the receiver was able to then run over and just pick up another 5 to 10 yards just by the fact that it was such a perfect throw. He didn't have to dive to make the catch. He didn't have to slow down to make the catch. He could continue running at his speed, make the catch in stride, and pick up as many more yards as possible. It's throws like that, which is why I'm personally against the stat air yards. You know, air yards is the stat where it only counts the yards you get right when the receiver makes the catch. It doesn't count yards after the catch. But personally, I'm not a fan of that because I do think a quarterback has an impact when it comes to yards after the catch. One last play I liked was this one where it's going to be a cover one hole, and to have a receiver running that route right there, so this is kind of the situation for Rodgers. If you can just hit him quickly, potentially you can hit him in stride, he can try to run over and get into the end zone for a touchdown. That's the way it's supposed to work. And also, as you see, right when this ball is snapped, his receiver appears as though he could be running in any direction at this point. He has yet to cut. However, for Rodgers, he's already in the throwing motion. He's not messing around. He's going to try to take a shot here. He, once again, perfect accuracy, hits his receiver in stride, and gives him a chance to get the touchdown. He doesn't quite get it. He gets inside the 5, though, and they're able to score a touchdown later. So it helps set up a touchdown, even though it didn't actually result in a touchdown. And again, that's why just using touchdowns as a whole can be often a misleading stat, because sometimes you make a really good throw like that doesn't actually get you to touchdown, but it sets you up in a situation where you then can get a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, anyways, listen, we all get it. Aaron Rodgers, he's one of the best to ever do it, but he's still going strong and still playing very well, and I do think that Matt LaFleur, I'm not sure if I would go as far as to say that he's definitely helping him, but he's at least letting Aaron Rodgers be Aaron Rodgers, which is what you have to do. And I also think it's interesting how he doesn't rely on Aaron Rodgers. He does use Aaron Jones to sort of help Aaron Rodgers out by having a good running game, and then Rodgers can just do Aaron Rodgers type things. But yeah, that's what I thought of Rodgers' performance. I thought that he was great against, he really just does own the Cowboys. I feel like if you're Dallas, you have to hate Aaron Rodgers just as much as other NFC North teams do, because he always seems to beat you guys. But then again, with the exception of 2018, he always just seems to beat anybody, or at least he beats a lot of people. So yeah, that's what I thought of Aaron Rodgers' performance. What do you think about Aaron Rodgers? How do you feel he's doing this season? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching.